Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. My name is Lindsay, and this is Life with Lindsay. Today we have a WIP Chat for you, but before we get into that, if you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Lindsay. I do mainly diamond painting and some other crafting-related content, and I would love for you to like, subscribe, hit the bell, hop aboard the Hot Mess Express. Let's all be friends. If you've been here before, hi, welcome. If you do not know what a WIP Chat is, I am working on my current WIP, WIP. I'm working on Cursed, also known as Mrs. Sid, for anyone who is watching the unboxing of that, which I will link that up in the eye for you guys if you are interested in seeing that. I have this little section here and then this band right above it, and that's it. I am loving this kit. Real quick before I get into the actual kit. Oh, let me finish what a WIP Chat is. And I work on whatever I'm working on, which is this, and you can work on whatever it is that you're working on. It can be a craft project, it can be a household project, it can be while you're working, while you're avoiding work, while you're driving, while you're doing chores. You can use it like a podcast. Whatever it is that you want to do, there is no right way or wrong way to WIP Chat. So, as I pull out a couple colors here, question for the people who have done multiple kits from DAC, Diamond Art Club, with the perforated paper. I have a question for you. Because I'm trying to figure out if they're all like this or if it's user error or what. This is my first time working with the perforated paper. And I started at the bottom. I've flipped and I'm now on the top part. Like this is the face and this is the brim of the hat. And at the bottom I had no problem. Like this is the one that has like the pink perforated lines. I know not all of them do. And they bent right at the lines and they were perfectly easy to work with. And then I got to the top and the lines didn't actually line up, which isn't super difficult or anything like that. But even when I found, like with my finger, the perforation, it didn't want to fold. So I have like this piece here. It's super rough where I split it, which was the first one that was like that. And I didn't know if that was a common experience. So let me know down below. I have now fixed my hair twice since I've been sitting here with you guys, and it just keeps falling out of the bun that I have. I am not somebody who is usually like, let me show you all my accessories, but I have primarily been using this Bijou Bliss little jack-o'-lantern tray. I am obsessed with it. I also have the entire Halloween collection, which if you'd like to see the unboxing for that, I will leave that up in the eye. Anyway, how are you guys? How are you all doing? I keep telling myself like, oh, I'm going to post all these videos and I'm going to do all this stuff. And then like, I totally forget. Or something happens and life gets in the way. So I'm here. I got a bunch of videos filmed last week that I never got a chance to edit. That's another story. That are now edited. All right. We're going to start with this AB. So that content will be going up pretty much right away. I filmed a post review for my Oraloa kit, so I will be sharing that with you guys, as well as some unboxings and other fun stuff. But I hope that you are all well. This past week, I am very excited to share with you guys. I had a wonderful time celebrating my 42nd birthday. Pew, pew, pew. So, yeah, my birthday was on the 13th. My sister's birthday, oddly enough, is the day before. And last year, I said to my husband, for my birthday, I want to be totally alone in a hotel room with no responsibilities, no anything, and just time to myself and time to relax. And not that I don't have time to myself or time to relax here, but it's in between doing 752 million other things, which if you're a parent, a caretaker, you totally understand. And I don't mean, oh, this is because I'm a mother. Like, it's my husband is totally entitled to have those moments as well, because he is also a caretaker. But because he works out of the house, he feels like he misses more moments and he doesn't want to take that time away. Me, on the other hand, in order for my battery to recharge, I need it to be able to be fully unplugged and left alone. You know? I know that everybody does things differently, and it's funny because we were talking to my mother-in-law, and she had a little bit of a, why would you want to be by yourself in a hotel kind of moment. And I was like, oh, just because you didn't want that or you weren't given that opportunity doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it. And I think a lot of people think taking time away from their family is selfish and they could never do that. But in order to be the best version of me, that's what I needed to do. And very, very thankful and blessed that my husband was able to take the day before and my birthday off so that I was still able to do what I wanted to. So before we celebrated my birthday, my kiddo and I got to see one of her classmates from last year in a local community theater play of Aladdin. And she loved every second of it and was like, Mommy. The next one is Annie. She goes, Mommy, I want to do the next play. And I was like, well, I'm sure her mommy can let me know when the signups are and, you know, we can figure it out. And she was like, really? I said, yeah, but you got to keep in mind, if you guys don't know, if you're new or newer here, my first grader is a figure skater. And we are at the rink a lot. Like a lot. Like 4 days a week. Sometimes more. And while I wouldn't discourage her from doing something else that she was interested in doing, if it takes time away from the rink, that has to be a decision that she like truly takes into consideration. And while my daughter is definitely a recreational skater at this point in her life, you know, she's 6 going on 7, she has a ton of aspirations of actually being a professional skater and an adult skater. So I just did like the cardinal sin, which was refilling your wax while you're working on ABs, but I forgot to refill my wax and I'm struggling. So anyway, so we got to see her friend in the play. That was super fun. She really, really enjoyed that. So let's talk about my birthday. So I don't know if you guys have ever seen, do you guys like ASMR? Let me know. And I know people who like ASMR, there's some that like, they don't like anything with mouth sounds, or they don't like any talking. For me, one thing I really like, and by the way, I'm wearing a shirt. Surprising, right? No, I'm just kidding. And I'm just kind of dabbing my pen into the shirt so that I can wear some of the extra stickiness down. I really try to avoid new wax with ABs, but we'll see how it goes. So I thoroughly enjoy ASMR. And I fell in love with, there's a sister duo. One is in front of the camera and one is behind the camera. And their channel is ASMR Twix. And they live in Japan. And they go around to different places to do head spas and massages. And sometimes there's makeup and other cultural things. Which those are always really cool to see. Like, she did one where she learned all about the proper way to wear a formal kimono. Anyway, tangent. I have been watching these videos for what feels like forever. And every time I watch a head spa video, I'm like, not only am I falling asleep because the sounds of like the running water and all of that are beautiful to me personally. But also that looks amazing. So oddly enough, just days before my birthday, and I mean like 3 days before my birthday, something like that, somebody had posted in our local Facebook group about, does anybody know if there are any Japanese head spas in the area? I'm willing to go as far as Lancaster. Now, if you guys don't know, I live in central Pennsylvania. And Lancaster, depending on where it is, can be about 45 minutes from where I live, which isn't terrible. And I said to my husband, holy crap, there's a bunch of these head spas that I would love to check out. And he's like, go for it. So I reached out to one, and they were actually closed, and I couldn't book on their website for that specific service. And I'll let you guys know what this all is in a minute if you're like, what is a head spa? But I found one. It's at a place that specializes in eyebrows, which sounds so weird. Not eyebrows, eyelashes. I think eyelashes. Which sounds so weird to say that, but they also have these head spas. Now, if you are somebody when you were younger that loved when your parent or your friend would brush your hair, or you love that part of getting your hair done at a salon, a head spa is for you. If you are somebody that absolutely hated all of those things, head spa, definitely not for you. So, you go, and I can only speak from the experience of the one that I went to, right? I'm telling you guys, I'm like just so relaxed thinking about it. It was so amazing. You go, and the first thing they asked me was to pick which aromatherapy scent I wanted. And I smelled the few that they had, and I was like, I'm really feeling like citrusy right now. And there were two that I really liked. There was one that was apple, but not a very like warm apple, not like a caramel apple, which you would expect for November. Just apple. It was very crisp, very clean. I was like, oh, I like that. And then I smelled the orange or tangerine, and I was like, this is it. This is what I want. So they put the scent in to make the room more for you. The place that I went to, it was like a secluded area, so it was nobody else was coming in while I was getting mine done. I saw one at a local hair salon, and it looked like from the photos that you were literally just in the middle of where people are getting their hair cut, which could be fine, but also doesn't seem quite as relaxing as being secluded in a room. Anyway, I was given a towel and told, put this on, and when I come back in, you'll get on the table. It's like a massage table kind of situation. So I said to her, I don't think this is going to fit me. If you've ever had one of those towels that has the elastic band around the waist with the band, I guess, with Velcro, I had one of those when I was, a teenager. And I just looked at her. I was like, there's no way that is going to go around my whole body. She's like, oh, I'm sure it will. It has elastic. Well, I was right. And I'm not somebody who is I'm not a prude. I'm not overly modest, or anything like that. So for me, it didn't bother me in any way, shape, or form. I mean, at the end of the day, the person doing the service, she has the same parts as me. Like it's not like she's never seen a breast in her life or whatever. And I got on the table and I put my head on this little platform. It was like the same height as like where my shoulders was. It wasn't like elevated. And we did a scalp analysis, which was super, super cool. They put the little thing on your scalp and they look, and some people do this because they have extremely dry skin, or they have thinning hair, or whatever it may be that they're just trying to help boost. And my main reason was for relaxation. She asked me, and I said, yeah, this is why I'm here. And I think that's the main reason why most people, especially here, would do it, is for relaxation. So she does the first, I think it was a cleanse. I think I had my hair like double conditioned. I had a mask put on it. All these things are happening. And then they have the halo. And the halo, it is exactly what it sounds like. And it has water that comes out of it. There's a whole ring of jets. And I was immediately like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. You guys, it was amazing. Like, I'm sitting here talking about it to you guys, and I'm thinking how much I loved it. And so I did that, and then I got this wonderful scalp massage. I had the washing, the shampoo, the conditioner, the mask, and she gave me this wonderful scalp massage. And then they just do a couple other things, like, to your hair, like, it was like a light, like, hair pull, I guess, almost, but not like, it wasn't like they were like pulling my hair. It wasn't like a kinky thing. But it felt really nice. And I actually kind of wish that she had used like slightly more pressure, but still thoroughly enjoyed it, obviously. And then I got a neck massage and a shoulder massage. And then I think my arms and hands also got a massage. Honestly, I faded in and out of like being awake a few times. I could like catch myself starting to snore, and then it would like wake me back up. It was such an experience, and it was so relaxing. And the girl who did it was a total doll. And she was telling me it's her boyfriend's birthday the next day, and this is what she was going to do for him, was treat him to a head spa. It was so nice. Like, I already want to go back and get it again. I'd like to try a few places and see if I like one better than the other. For me, I am a very low maintenance kind of girl. So I opted to not get my hair dried or styled or anything like that afterwards. But I have a feeling when they say that they blow dry it and style it, that it's like a blowout kind of service, not like anything more than that. I mean, I could be wrong, but I left with my hair very wet. And I don't want to say like I left with like soaking wet hair, but I left with wet hair. It was combed. It was, it was glorious. And, she parted my hair. She said, do you part your hair in the middle? And I said, yes, I do. And then I didn't touch it. I let it air dry on its own. And I was like, well, if I had any question if my hair was actually straight or not, the answer is no. I don't know if you guys, if you've been around for a while, if you remember, I cut like 2 feet of hair off shortly after my 40th birthday. And I cut it off. I dyed it like copper, which was the first time I'd ever dyed my hair in my life. And it was at that moment at 40 years old where I realized, oh, I don't have straight hair anymore. But I always assumed my hair had waves to it because I was putting my hair up in a bun as soon as I got out of the shower, which I still do. And I let my hair air dry and saw these were definitely, not straight anymore. So, same thing. When I let my hair air dry that day, I was like, oh, okay. So my hair has definitely got some curl to it. And I want to say, before I went to the head spa, my husband and I spent some time together, which we very, very rarely get to spend any quality time together, because we don't have sitters and we don't have, sad to say, but we don't have date nights without our kid because she's always with us. She is always third wheeling with us. But we went to P.F. Chang's for lunch, and we ordered so much food, and I was like, are we going to be able to eat this? I wasn't sure if we were or not, but we did. And then they also brought us, they accidentally made some food for someone, and they made the wrong thing, so they were like, would you guys like this? We were like, sure. So we had all of our food plus the egg rolls that were accidentally made. We had such a good meal. And then we went down to Target and just took care of like an errand that him and I had to run together. And it was nice to spend the time together. And we then went to the hotel to drop my bags off. And then he was going to take me to my head spa and then head back to reality. So we get to the hotel, which was absolutely gorgeous. If you guys are ever in the area, you're going down to like downtown Lancaster, I stayed at a hotel called the Lancaster Arts Hotel. It was more money than I would normally spend on myself to like just spend the night. But I was legit spending my entire time at the hotel outside of me getting this head spa. So I wanted to stay somewhere that was nice and that looked comfortable and inviting. And this is an old tobacco warehouse that they converted into like this micro hotel. There's only, I think, like 12 rooms or something like that. Beautiful, exposed brick everywhere, high ceilings, and then there is art everywhere. It's in the lobby, it's in the bedrooms, it's in the elevator. And inside the rooms, every room has a sketchbook. And they invite you to draw in it. And fun fact about me, the only thing that I can draw is Woody Woodpecker. My sister taught me how to do that when I was a little kid. So I did. I drew it in the sketchbook. And then I wrote next to it, this is 42. I almost left my handle, and then I was like, that's tacky, don't do that. But anyway, we get to the hotel, and I said, hey, I know check-in isn't for a few more hours, but I just wanted to leave my bags here if that's all right. And she said, oh, we can actually check you in now. I was like, what? Now, if you guys were here for last year's birthday, bonanza, whatever you want to call it, I treated myself to a night alone at a hotel, and I called and requested an early check-in and was told that I could, and then I got there, and then I was told no, I had to wait. I was also told I could have a late checkout, which also turned out to be false, as they knocked on my door and asked me why I hadn't checked out yet. And I was like, because I was told that I could have a late checkout. And by late checkout, I mean like literally 1 extra hour. It wasn't like I was asking to be there all day. So anyway, she said, no, your room is ready. You can hop on in. And I was like, oh, wow. So Brian came up to the room. He helped me bring my stuff. I didn't have a lot of stuff with me, except for I brought this diamond painting with me. I wanted to sit undisturbed and be able to diamond paint and lay in the bed and relax and do all the things that I want to do without time constraints, without a tiny human up my butt, just relax. And so we got my room situated, and I think I have photos. If I do, I'll put them in here. I may have just done a video with my kiddo and not taken actual photos. I can't remember, but it was beautiful and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And so he helped me again, and then we went and he took me to my head spa. And I am somebody, fun fact about me, if you are a minute late, I feel disrespected. I am always friends with people who run late. And this is not a personal attack on anyone. I am one of those people that I get severe anxiety if I am not somewhere early. My dad always drilled it into my head that if you're early, you're on time. If you're on time, you're late. My father has a business background, and I think just because I always felt that way, that as I got older, like kind of internalized that. So like if you're somebody who's supposed to meet me at noon and it's 12:15 and you call me and you go, "Hey, I'm running late." You're not running late. You are late. And I'm okay if people give me the heads up, or if it's somebody I know that like their time clock runs late. Like my brother-in-law, for example, he's always late. He's always late. And, you know, I used to think it's because he has kids, but his kids aren't little. Like, we're talking like one's in college and one's getting their master's, and they're still late. And his dad is somebody who runs late. That's just how they are. But if I have plans with somebody and you say, I'm going to be there at this time, be there at that time. It drives me crazy. So, of course, I get to my appointment early, and I sit down on the little couch, and I immediately go, fuck. I left my Stanley or my tumbler or whatever in the car. And I texted Brian. Now, Brian is driving and does not see said text until he gets home 45 minutes later. So, I got one of those like mini water bottles that's like this big. And that is all that I had with me. And I was thirsty. I refilled it, you know, quite a few times in the hotel in the sink. And then eventually I caved, and they had the glass bottles of the still water that, you know, cost an arm and a leg. But I was like, I am dying of thirst. Which actually, let me take a sip now that I'm saying that. And I struggled, and then I caved. So, after my head spa experience, which was amazing, you guys, I hope that you have one near you. And if this sounds like something you might be interested in, I hope that you check it out, because it far exceeded like what I was hoping it would be. I really thoroughly enjoyed it, and I was very, very relaxed, and 10 out of 10. Would highly recommend, would do again. And then I took an Uber, which I had the strangest Uber driver. He, like, frantically kept changing the music. And I mean, like, you know when you see those memes or those reels where they're, like, just changing the music that quickly? That's what it was like. And I was like, it's okay. You can leave it on something. And we had awkward conversation, and then I was just like, I'm going to get back to my bubble of just sitting over here quietly, texting my husband. Does anybody else do that when they're in an Uber? They're like, you know what? I'm just going to text the person that I'm on my way to see, or that's on their way to see me, or whatever it might be. But yeah, so I got back to the hotel, and I relaxed, and it had a beautiful bathroom with this big like glass shower. And I, like, pre-COVID, when you could get the little bottles of the shampoo and the conditioner and all that, that was my jam. I don't even care if I used it while I was there. I was going to take it with me and use it at another time. I love that kind of stuff. So I walk into the bathroom, and they have like the hand soap as a dispenser on the wall. And I'm like, okay. I put my hand under it, and I notice that it is like an orange scent, which is what I had with my head spa. And I was like, oh, that's wonderful. The shampoo, the conditioner, the body wash, the bar soap, the hand soap, all of it was this beautiful orange citrus scent. You guys, I was so relaxed, and I loved every minute of it. And then it was funny. So my husband picked up our kiddo from school, and I'm video chatting. Video chatting with them. Now keep in mind, I am 45 minutes away from home. Like I'm in the same state, I'm in the same area code, like I'm not that far. And I had all the lights on, and she goes, "Daddy, is mommy really far away? It's light out where she is," because it was nighttime. But it wasn't light out. I just had the lights on, and it was the most sweet, innocent thing ever. And we had a really good little chuckle because, yeah, I'm not that far from home, kiddo. And she was excited to chat with me. But another little highlight for me was my best friend, who I lived in Lancaster many, many years ago, well before Brian. And Brian and I have been together for 15 years, so, like, I don't know. This is probably 20 years ago, maybe. And my friend Denise was my neighbor. She lived next door. And we quickly became friends. And I am not somebody in this world who has a ton of friends. I am somebody who is super trusting, so I get hurt a lot. I'm 100% going to cry. If you are blessed to have the kind of friendship that Denise and I have, you're very lucky. Denise is my platonic soulmate. There is nobody in this world that I'm going to have that kind of connection with outside of her. She is the first person I told that I was pregnant before I told my husband. She is somebody who has always accepted me for exactly who I am, has never tried to change me, never tried to change anything about me, and just loves me for exactly who I am. And her biggest downfall in this world is that she never has her cell phone with her, or if she does, that it is never charged, because I can never get a hold of her. Well, a couple years ago, her and her family moved from where she was living. And before I had my child, I used to just literally drop by her house to see if she was there, because I could never get a hold of her. Now, she is like a corporate girly and has like a long-term job and is better now with the phone than she was. But, it's still hard. And before she moved, she had taken some art classes at the community college as a prerequisite for, or an elective or something for whatever she was studying at the time. And she discovered that she not only really enjoyed art, but was actually pretty good at it. And sometime during COVID, she had a gallery show and she invited us to it. And we went. And that was the last time that I had seen her. And I, had just asked her, because she lives much closer to Lancaster than me, than where I live. And she had said to me, like, "Yes, my love, I will be there. Don't worry." And then I heard nothing from her. And I was like, did she, like, disappear? Well, turns out she had a work meeting. And it went, like, way late. And she wasn't expecting that. And so when I called her, she's like, "Is there any way we can do this tomorrow?" Which the next day was my actual birthday. I spent the night in the hotel and then woke up in the hotel on my birthday. If that makes sense. Excuse me. So I was like, "I'm actually not going to be here tomorrow." And she's like, "Oh." She's like, "I'm going to be there. No matter what, I'm going to be there." So she came by, and it was absolutely amazing to have her there. She was there for maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. Nothing crazy, but long enough that we could hang out. And I ordered some DoorDash just so we could have food together and just I missed hanging out with her. I missed seeing her. I've known her since her children were in diapers. Her youngest is 20. Her oldest is 28. The one, she has twins that are 22. There's also another one older than that. I think it's 20, 22, 22, 24, 28, I think is the age range. And the twins were in diapers when I met her. So, you know, we're in very different places in our life. She has a grandchild. I have a child, and our kids are a year. My daughter and her granddaughter are a year apart. Her granddaughter is in kindergarten. My daughter is in first grade. But it doesn't matter. Our lives somehow, when they intertwine, we're complete idiots together. We laugh together. We cry together. And like I said, I've never once tried to change her. She's never once tried to change me. I think that's important in a friendship because, you know, sometimes people want you to be something different than you are. And obviously, if I make a mistake, she is still there to be there. And I've been very vocal about some of her choices in men, and she has always appreciated my honesty on that. I'm not one of those people. I know that it bothers some people. I'm not one of those people. You're dating a garbage human being. I'm not going to wait till you break up to be like, I never liked them. No, I'm going to let you know, not in a harsh way, which I think is probably why her and I are so close. But in a way of like, listen, I love you, and I know that you love this person, and your judgment is completely clouded, but like, look at what they're doing. And, you know, I wouldn't want to waste years of my life on somebody who was garbage if everyone around me saw it and was like, listen, this person is no good for you. They're taking advantage of you, whatever. And then as soon as they break up, it's always those people that are like, oh, I never liked them anyway. Well, how come you let me stay with them for that many years, you know? And sometimes, and it's not just her, because she was around while I dated specifically one total garbage human being. And she was always like, girl, you guys might be cute together, but he is not a good person. And I was like, he's great. And then I was like, oh no, she's right. He's not great. So that's the kind of friendship we have. And you know what? Here, I will insert a picture. Here is her and I from that night. And we come from completely different worlds. We have completely different backgrounds. We were raised completely differently. And by every standard out there, by every like sociological, this is how life should be, we should not be friends. But we are like the best of friends. It's one of those things, you know, my husband, when he's with the two of us, he feels like the third wheel, you know, like it's that special friendship. And I'm very grateful that she came down to visit me for my birthday. And I'm truly, truly blessed to have somebody like that in my life. And she's one of those people that like I could literally just not talk to for ever. And we pick up as if we just saw each other yesterday. And it's always like that with us. Always. It's effortless. It's beautiful. She's known me from when I was the girl who always had fishnets and knee-high combat boots and a mohawk. Like, she's just been through all iterations of me. And it was... my soul needed that. Like, a lot. And so I'm very, very grateful. And I know she's not watching this, but if you do see this, Denise, I hope you know how much I love you. As I am sitting here crying to a bunch of people on the internet. But when she left, I got back to diamond painting. Fun fact about me, like prior to having a child, like even through my pregnancy, but like literally prior to like giving birth to her, every night I would fall asleep to Forensic Files. I've seen every single episode of Forensic Files. So when I got to the hotel and I turned on the TV and I'm slipping through the channels, I saw Forensic Files was on, and it was on hours and hours and hours. And I was like, you know what? You got this. We're going to put on some Forensic Files. We're going to diamond paint. We're going to just relax and have a good time. And that's what I did. I loved every single second of it. What are some amenities you guys look for in a hotel? For me, well, typically I like somewhere that has free parking, but my husband dropped me off, and then he proceeded to pick me up the next day, so parking wasn't like a big concern for me. I also am a big fan of a free breakfast. If I'm staying somewhere for multiple days, I definitely want it to be a free breakfast, because I don't want to be like spending all my money on breakfast. But they had a breakfast set up, and I was really surprised by it. You know, they had some of your standards, your toast, your bagels and cream cheese, your cereals, your yogurts, whatever. But then they also had like little charcuterie. And it was just one kind of meat and two kinds of cheeses, but every single piece of meat was cut out in the shape of a heart. And it just felt so special, and none of the small details went unnoticed for me. None of it. I was blown away. It also had great coffee, which, let's be honest, that's a perk. So I had my cup of coffee, a cup of water, because I was dying of thirst, and they had these tornadoes. It was sausage, egg, and cheese in... It wasn't a tortilla, but it was something similar. But when you microwaved it, it was kind of fluffy and crunchy. I don't know how to describe it. They were very, very good. I had like 3 of them. But I had my bagel. I had all my stuff. It was a very nice spread. I was very impressed. I really enjoyed it. Then there was more artwork on the walls. And there was the history of someone, whoever the dining room was named after. And I let one of the employees, I said, listen, I don't know if anybody ever says anything to you guys, but like a tiny attention to details in here, they didn't go unnoticed. And I want you to know, it's my birthday today, and it made me feel really special, even though I know it's not for me, but it made me feel special. And it doesn't go unnoticed. And she was like, thank you so much. And I was like, of course, you're welcome, And I enjoyed my breakfast. I had a nice shower. You guys, they had one of those sleepy time eye masks and some earplugs. I don't do well with earplugs. I got a pair of like loops. Like I have a pair of loop earplugs. They've been sitting on my desk for years now. I like the concept of them. I hate the execution of them. I can't have something blocking out my hearing. I would like something that could lessen the sound. And I tried the other kind of loops, and I still didn't like them. But anyway, moral of the story is I don't like them because I can hear, like, my heart beating and my joints creaking and the blood pumping through my body, and it freaks me out. So I just pulled out the Sleepy Time eye mask, which I have slept with every night since, which isn't really saying a lot because my birthday was only a couple days ago. But it was just a lovely experience. And then I said to my husband, when you pick me up, I want to go to, it's a food truck, but they have a permanent, like, location. I guess it's not really a food truck. It's more of like a food stall at that point. There's a girl who I've followed on Instagram. I know her. I shouldn't say it like, oh, I followed some girl. But she had a charcuterie business. Excuse me. Take another sip of water. Talking makes me thirsty. She had a charcuterie business that was based out of Lancaster, and she considered herself to be a real foodie. And she always posted about this place, and it's called Chella's Arepas. It's in Lancaster. As I mentioned, it is like a food truck, food stall, whatever. There's no indoor-ness to it. Excuse me. Cannot clear my throat now. Hold on one second. All right, I took a couple more sips. Hopefully that helps. But I had seen her post about it. At one point, they were ranked on like Yelp's like top 10 places to go. And I enjoy arepas and I enjoy those flavors. And I said to my husband, this is what I would like to do. That's what I'd like to do for lunch. And he was like, okay. Sometimes it's not necessarily worth it for us to go to a place that's 45 minutes, an hour away to get something to eat with our kiddo. She's a good eater, don't get me wrong, but all that sitting in the car sometimes just like winds her up. So we went, we both thoroughly enjoyed it, and we both said this is definitely a place we should bring her back to. And then across the street was a Costco, so we went to Costco. My husband was looking for Ghost Energy. They have these like cases for a fraction of the price that he can get them online. So we went to Costco and picked that up. And then I said, you know, I feel bad. Our daughter had lost, excuse me, this sounds terrible to say it this way, but she's pretty much lost her birthday, which, if you guys are watching this in real time, is in just a few days. But while we were there, we made some super surprise plans that she still doesn't know about. And I will tell you guys all about that after we do them. But I said, you know what? While we're here, I want to get some flowers for her. Even though it's my birthday, I want to buy her some flowers. Which I guess technically my husband bought her flowers. And I gave them to her. But it was great. So he picked me up. We had our little date. That was like 2 full dates in 24 hours. Like sans child. It was fantastic. I loved it. I think he enjoyed it. And, you know, of course our kid was like, you guys went and did stuff without me? Like, yeah, girl. We do try to eat together. Like if he's off. Or if he doesn't go in till later, you know, sometimes we'll grab breakfast together or something like that. But this was just really nice to just spend time and be able to like focus on each other and have good time. Like that's one thing is, like I said to him, like I miss us being able to have fun together. So this was us having fun together. Food is something we both thoroughly enjoy. You don't get a figure like this by not enjoying food. And it was just really, really lovely. And then she had ice skating that night, which is why I opted to do Tuesday into Wednesday instead of Wednesday into Thursday. But it was wonderful. And then my husband got these coupons at work for Chili's, which my daughter somehow, we've been to fine dining establishments, but she thinks that Chili's is the finest of the finest for some reason. And we ended up going to Chili's that night. And she was very excited to tell everybody who looked in our direction that it's my mommy's birthday. And so they came out and they sang to me. Are you guys people who enjoy that, or are you totally embarrassed? My husband absolutely hates the public affection. We went to Texas Roadhouse a couple years ago, and they were like, get on the saddle. I was trying to think of the word. And he was like, absolutely not. And my daughter's like, I'll get on. I'm like, it's not your birthday. I love it. Sing to me. Do all the things. Oh, man. I am getting to that point where I'm struggling. But anyway, it was overall just a wonderful birthday, and it definitely helped me recharge. And, you know, I used to think that taking time away from my family was such a selfish thing to do. But I realized that it's the best gift that I can give myself is being a more patient, more calm, more relaxed parent and partner. And as long as my husband is willing to make the time work for him, you know, he took time off from work so he could do this. And I am super grateful and very appreciative. And I just Had an absolute wonderful time, and I highly, highly recommend, if you are somebody who is in a caretaker position, to just take that time for yourself. Like, it's probably what you need more than you realize. And I'm just very thankful for the family that I have and the supportive husband that I have, and the people around me that encourage me to take care of myself instead of making me feel worse about it. Because we all know that there are people like that too, who think, how dare you? But I did that. I had a really wonderful, wonderful birthday. And then, life went back to normal. We went back to the rink. If you guys see me and I seem frantic over the next 2 months, I probably am. My daughter is skating in 2 nutcrackers at 2 different rinks. So I'm very excited about that. For somebody who wants to skate for Disney on Ice, I think these little shows give her a wonderful opportunity to work on choreography and learning a program, a fast-paced program, and just giving her a shot at something that would benefit her, as she gets older. So last year we did it at 1 rink. I opted to do it at a different rink last year because of the proximity to my house. And this year I said, would you like to do it at both? And she said yes. So not only are we doing 2 nutcrackers on ice, we are also doing a winter showcase with our program while upgrading our program, because hopefully come, I think it's February, our coach wants us to compete. But when she competes, she'll be competing up a level from where she did over the summer. So they need to upgrade her program, all that fun stuff. So it's exhausting because we're, back and forth between multiple rinks, and we have fully committed to doing morning lessons. I had been doing morning sessions with her before school, just her on the ice. Not taking a lesson, because there's very few people there. There's a couple, like boyfriend, girlfriend kind of couple, not like, 2 people. And then there is another coach with a private lesson. And then there is another coach who actually is working on her own program. And my daughter. And so it is much quieter. She is much more focused in the morning than she is in the afternoon, which makes sense because she's putting so much time and effort at school. And it's just wonderful to see. And her coach has a private lesson after, like, when my daughter gets off the ice. And so she said to me, why don't we make that another lesson for her? And I said, I don't want to commit to it yet. I want to make sure that my daughter can do this, because that's a 7 a.m. commitment is a lot for our whole family. It's a lot for a 6-year-old. It's a lot for her parents. But I also explained to her, this also means when you're on break, when school is out for the summer, like, you still have lessons. And she's like, I understand. So we shall see. I don't know. I don't know how it's going to go. I'm hopeful. But, the amount of time she gets on the ice with her coach right now, she's not really able to work on anything new because they're working on her program, and they can't really take time to work on new skills when they're trying to perfect that. So basically one lesson is going to be working on the program, and the other lesson is going to be working on skills. I think they're going to be split up, like that they do a little bit at each, but that's the gist of it. So Saturday, after her practice for the Nutcracker for the 1 rink, we I had to go to, there's a mall across the river. It's not that far from the rink, but from our house, it's like 45 minutes. So I opted to go then. And I had to get her, I placed an order for a dress from Gymboree. It's this little nutcracker style dress. And I knew she would be head over heels, obsessed with it. She just, now that she's done the nutcracker, she's like obsessed with nutcrackers. I'm not surprised. That's just kind of her personality and how she lives her life. And I went, and I said, we're going to go pick up the dress. And she said, okay. And I said, if you do a good job the night before, and then you do a good job in the morning and at skating, I will take you to get a pedicure. Fun fact, my daughter does not like anyone touching her feet, but has absolutely no problem getting a pedicure and letting them touch her feet. Go figure. Well, her toenails are insane because, again, she doesn't let anyone touch them. Sometimes she'll let Brian trim them, but, like, never lets me touch them. And with her feet being in skates all the time, I need her to take care of her foot health. And she goes, but Mommy, I also want to get a manicure. And I said, oh, do you have money for a manicure? She goes, well, no, but you can pay for it. And I go, well, I didn't offer to pay for it. I offered to pay for a pedicure. And she's like, oh. And, you know, of course, she was bummed. So we get to the mall to go pick up this dress. I'm walking into the mall and I go, did my underwire just snap? Now, let me tell you, I always get the same bra over and over and over again. I get the t-shirt bra from Torrid. And thankfully, this mall has a Torrid. So I go over and I say, hey, kiddo, when we're done doing this, we have to go make a pit stop for something for Mommy. And she said, okay, that's fine. And I don't know what was going on in the mall that day, but I saw Loki, Captain America, Anna, and Elsa, a table full of crafts, a face painting station. I was like, what is happening? I texted my husband and I said, hey, are you cool if I take her to get her Build-A-Bear? Now, if you guys are unaware of this, they have a pay your age bear. I can't guarantee it's available at all locations. If you're curious, I would call the one closest to you. But what it is you pay the age the child is turning. It has to be done in their birth month. Honestly, like, I'm sure they don't really care that much, but we have been doing this since Briar turned 1. And he said to me, you know, I'd love to, but if you guys are having a good day, if she's cooperating and behaving and listening and doing all of that, it's better to do it now than to risk trying to do it next weekend when maybe, you know, she's overstimulated or whatever. And I said, okay. Now, keep in mind, I just mentioned there were a ton of kids in this mall. It took us an hour to get through Build-A-Bear. And I don't mean because my kid was wandering or checking things out. It legit took an hour from the second we walked in the store, and we went right into the line. We grabbed our birthday bear, and then we left. And it took an hour. Now, what we do, and this is what works for our family, we always let her choose an outfit for her bear when we do the birthday bear, because I'm paying $6, $7. You know, I don't mind buying the fancy dress. And also, if you guys are people who like Build-A-Bear, they often run specials where they do 50% off their gift cards and they don't expire. So for us, I bought $50 worth of gift cards for $25. So the next time we get a Build-A-Bear, or if we go for something else, she can get an outfit that's pretty much paid for already, or whatever we do. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I had a fantastic time. We then went and I said, you know, I'm super proud of you. You were so well behaved. You were so patient. You were so kind. You know, just singing her praises. I said, I'd love to treat you to a manicure as well. So we went and I got a pedicure. My feet have been crazy dry. I very rarely get a pedicure. But she thoroughly enjoys it. And I know I'm setting myself up for when my kid's older for her to like expect these kinds of things. But I also think she really appreciates doing them. And it was super nice to be able to have that moment with my kid. And that's it. You know, we just overall, we had a really fantastic time together. And it was kind of the icing on the cake of the, you know, this is my birthday. Her birthday is coming up. Passing the torch from one birthday to the other. And then my husband's birthday is just 12 days after hers. So it's an exciting time to be in our household. But I've hit and I think surpassed the hour mark here. Perfect place to stop. So that's it, you guys. I hope that you made it all the way to the end. If you did, leave me some sort of birthday emoji so that I know you guys made it. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I love being able to share with you guys little glimpses of my life, or sometimes big glimpses of my life. Excuse me. And I want you to know that even though I don't record and upload nearly as much as I used to, those connections are still there, and I really, really appreciate you guys. Alice in a Winter Wonderland is coming. That is January 1st through February 14th. It is an Alice in Wonderland event that I host. I will be part of the Christmas premieres. My husband and I are kicking it off on Christmas Eve at 6 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I think that's it I think that's all the things that I've got. I hope that you guys enjoyed this. If you like this video and you'd like to see more videos like this, or nothing like this at all, please make sure to give this video 2 thumbs up. One real life, one virtual. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Come, join the Sparkle Squad. While you're there, hit that notification bell. I do not operate on any sort of schedule. I operate on toddler standard time, and I record my tiny human is sleeping or sleeping. Thank you guys so much for being here. I'll see you in my next one. Bye, guys!